You may have noticed on your air conditioner pipe that the insulation is starting to fall apart like this one is. This air conditioner is more than 25 years old, and this pipe probably should have had the insulation replaced a long time ago. In this video, I'll show you how to easily replace this insulation in a few quick steps. For this project, you'll just need a couple inexpensive items, the pipe insulation and some sealing compound to seal where the pipe meets the house. I'll leave a link for these items in the description below. Prior to purchasing the insulation, you should measure the size of your pipe. To help you prevent a mistake that I made, I recommend peeling off some insulation and doing the measurement first. The mistake I made was measuring at just this bare spot you can see here in the photo. After removing the insulation, I discovered that the pipe was actually 3/4 inch, not 1 inch. Therefore, I had to return the 1 inch insulation and purchase the proper 3/4 inch insulation. The first step, you're going to want to cut off any wire ties that you may have on the outside of the insulation, as you see me doing here. Next, you'll gently remove the old insulation. You can use a utility knife to cut slightly into the old insulation to assist with removing it. Try not to cut all the way through the insulation to avoid scoring the pipe, and in some cases the wiring is actually inside the insulation and you want to avoid cutting it. Next, I'll put the insulation in place to measure and cut it. Since this measuring method is not exact, I add about 1 inch longer. That way, if it is too long, you can always cut a little more off. Next, put it in place to ensure that it's the proper length. At this point, if you feel it's too long, you can take it off and cut a little more off. I got lucky and my original measurement with the extra inch was just enough. Here I flip the insulation upside down to demonstrate how to seal the insulation together. While doing so, you'll peel back the plastic strips to expose the adhesive. Then little sections at a time, put the adhesive parts together to seal the insulation around the pipe. Once you have the entire length sealed, flip the insulation so that the seam is at the bottom. This way, rainwater won't get into any sections of that seam that aren't completely sealed. Now, using wire ties, secure the wire on the outside of the insulation. This is actually my second version of this video. In the first version, I secured the wire to the pipe before putting the insulation in place. But thanks to a viewer comment, I discovered that that was not the best location for the wire. The wire should be on the outside of the insulation. The theory is, with all the vibrations coming from this condenser motor, the wire against the pipe could start to wear away on the insulation, exposing the wire. Now take a generous amount of that duct seal putty and roll it into a rope shape. Wrap it around the insulation where it meets the house, and then using your fingers kind of form it a seal against both the house and the insulation. Here's a piece of insulation that I had put on a year ago. Looking at it, you can see there's a fair amount of weathering on the top from the sun's UV rays. Therefore, I decided to put some foil tape on top of the insulation to protect it from the sun's UV rays. Since I already have some, I decided to cover the top of the insulation with this HVAC foil tape. But I've seen other posts online where people wrap the insulation with this UV resistant line set tape. And I'll have to be honest, this tape looks like it's easier to work with than the foil tape. I'll leave a link for both these products in the description below. First, I measured out a length of the foil tape and then peeled off the backing. Since it's not wide enough to cover the whole top, I'm going to use two pieces. Just start at the center and drape it over one side. Since the foil tape is not very flexible, it's a little difficult to work with when trying to bend it around curves. It has a tendency to crinkle, and if you're not careful, it'll actually tear. When applying the second piece, make sure that it overlaps like a 1/8 to a 1/4 inch. Again, I only put this on the top because it's the sun's UV rays that are damaging the insulation. This has been a DIY Saver production. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. And if you'd like to see more of my content, hit the subscribe as well.